Welcome to Duchess Discussions, where we talk about true crime and missing cases. Stay tuned, the live stream will begin shortly. Hello, everybody. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, if my volume on my microphone is good. Y'all give me some feedback and let me know. My name is Duchess, and this is my channel, Duchess for the Missing, where I talk about true crime, and we talk about a lot of missing cases. And tonight, we're going to be talking about Tyler Doyle's missing case. And Tyler Doyle has been missing since January the 26th of 2023, which is 164 days, here right outside my door in the Little River Inlet in Little River, South Carolina. And tonight I have a special guest and a very good friend of mine that's here to talk about this case with me. And I want you guys to please give her a warm welcome in the chat, Miss Sha Boyd. Hey, Sha. Thank you for being here. You doing okay?
Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you for that wonderful intro video. I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We have a lot to talk about. It's been a while since we've met, so I'm just going to go over to the chat real quick. I want to say hey to all of my lovely people, and I know that they are so excited that you're here to talk to us because it's been a while since we've sat down and talked to everybody about the things that have gone on since our last live stream. So I'm just going to jump over here and kind of say hey to everybody, and then we're going to get started. Let some more people kind of come in. Because I know it's Sunday night and there's a lot of people live. There's probably a lot of things going on. So I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to be here with Sha and I tonight to talk about this very important local case. Because Tyler is very important and he's not been found. So we're going to talk about as much as we're able to tonight. And we're also going to take some questions from the chat later on. So if there's something that you want to clarify, if you have a question for Sha, there will be a time and a place for that. And we'll take some questions from the chat. We just ask that you please be respectful to Sha and I, and please be respectful to the subscribers and the moderators in the chat. We don't have to agree on everything. This is not an echo chamber. But we do want to hear feedback from people about their thoughts about things. We just want people to be treated with respect because we're all adults here. So looking here back in the chat, it looks like got Maddie Brown. She was the first one in the chat. Maddie has been ready since 7:20. So thank you for being here, Maddie. Thank you. Welcome to Duchess Discussions. And we got Camshaft. Good to see you back, Camshaft. I hope you're doing good. I was going to ask if you were at the race because we're going to talk about the In Honor of Tyler Doyle race that took place on June the 10th. So y'all definitely want to see all the footage and things that we got from that. That was a great event. Hey, Arctic Fox, thank you so much for being here. Arctic Fox and Michelle are my lead mods. If you have any questions or concerns and I'm not able to answer those things, if I'm in the middle of a discussion, you know, please direct those questions to the mod team. They can help you with anything that you need, and they can get my attention if there's a question that I need to address. Thank you so much, Checking Convictions, for being here. I'm so glad to see you. Who else do we have here tonight? We got Michelle in the house. Thank you so much for being here, darling. And who else? Let's see. Going down the list. Hey, Jessica. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you had a nice 4th. We got Princess Megan in the house. Let's see. Hope everybody's had a great 4th. We got Sally here. Hey, Sally. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Rhonda Roy. Got Nightbot. Nightbot's present and accounted for. Y'all throw Nightbot some emoji candy. He loves that stuff. He wants to act up sometimes. Hey, Dragon. I see Dragon here. Got McBro in the house. Hey, McBro, thank you so much for taking time to be here. I appreciate that. She Beast 1987. Hello. Thank you for being here. Hey, Charlotte. We got Teresa Calder in the house. Ashley Arrington. Christine Howlett. Hey, Christine. How are you? Jacqueline Braswell. Hey, Carrie. I hope you're doing good. It's good to see you always. We got Jacqueline Hampton, Missy Noor. Missy's one of my, she comes to all my live streams. Hey, Dynamite, I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for being here. Save for Jesus. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm so glad to see you. I haven't been live a lot lately, guys, because I've real life. You know how it is. We got Kelly in the house. Guys, thank you so much for being here. And we're going to get started. So, Shay, how do you want to start out? You know, Tyler's been missing 164 days. You want to walk us through, give us a little summary? You want me to summarize what's happened? Where do you want to start tonight?
You might want to start it.
Okay. Tyler has been missing in the Little River Inlet. And I think the best way to start out with that is to go back and let's take a look at some videos that I've done about Tyler's case. Shay is Tyler's aunt, and we have been fighting. And it's literally, that's what the group is called, fighting to bring Tyler Doyle home. Because that's what it's been, hasn't it, Shay? To get answers. To get answers.
Yeah.
Especially from DNR.
Yeah.
Tyler went to the boat landing that day, and he called in to work because he wanted to go duck hunting. And he went duck hunting with what now we all know is Christian Holden. I think there's no secret about that because everybody on social media is aware of that. I have asked Christian Holden if he would like to come up and tell us what happened that day, but he's not reached back out to me. So he's really the only person that was actually there that would be able to reconstruct that scene for us.
Yeah.
But according to the 911 calls, Tyler made a few phone calls, and a few people actually called Tyler. Tyler had let Christian out onto the jetty, which is a lining of rocks that goes out from the inlet in the Intercoastal Waterway out into the Atlantic Ocean, because that's where they decided to hunt for ducks that day, out in the John boat. And it was a cold day. Shay, do you remember how cold it was that day?
It was freezing. Yeah.
It was freezing. I mean, one of the coldest Januaries that we've ever had.
Yeah,
and I was really shocked that anybody would even be out there in a John boat, to be honest, doing anything at that time of year.
Yeah. And that night, I've said this before, but me and my mom slept in the parking lot at the boat landing, and we had to keep cranking the car up to stay warm. We stayed there all night long until daylight and throughout the whole next day. But yeah, it was freezing.
Yeah. So Tyler lets Christian out onto the rocks, and he's going to go stir up some ducks around the side of the jetty for Christian to get a shot at. And apparently, once he let Christian off at the jetty rocks and went back out into the water, Tyler's boat began to take on water. Now, we don't know all the specifics, but, you know, he did have a large motor on the back. We wonder if there may have been a leak. We're not really sure about all the ins and outs of what exactly happened that day, but Tyler started calling to Christian for help. And thus it set into motion a set of phone calls that Tyler made and that Christian Holden made that day to 911 and to the Coast Guard.
We think.
Look
altered, but yeah.
From what we can best tell by the 911 calls. It's really sad how something like this can go badly so quickly, because at 4:56, when the first call came in, Christian could see that Tyler's boat was starting to stand up as it was taking on water. And in that area, it's only about 6 to 8 feet deep in areas. There's areas that are even more shallow than that. And the tide was actually going out. So it was carrying Tyler's boat out through that wide jetty that opens up into the waterway. And the water can get kind of rough in that area. It really just depends on the weather. There's a lot of factors that are involved with that. And basically what we know from then is there's a part of the phone call where Christian reports that he can't see Tyler anymore. And he needs for somebody to hurry up and come out there and help. And there was a boat that actually did turn around for Christian, that came back out and stopped where Christian was at, but no one saw Tyler. Now, they did locate Tyler's boat out in front of the jetty, a certain number of yards, and it was standing on its end with the motor down in the water. But Tyler wasn't found.
Yeah.
The Coast Guard searched for 48 hours. Nothing. But we did find something really interesting that I didn't get. And that was Boat 2's report. Can we talk about that, Shay, real quick? About Boat 2's report?
Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick question about that, because when I finally did get Boat 2's report, I was a little surprised at what that report said. So I'm going to share this overlay for everyone to take a look at. And to the left, you will see Bonaparte Creek. That's where the red icon is. And of course, where you see the words Little River, that is actually the intercoastal waterway. And you can see the mouth of the jetty going out into the Atlantic Ocean. Now, on that North Carolina, South Carolina line, that is Bird Island. And that jetty that goes back up in there, it looks like a pitchfork, those three little areas. That's Bonaparte Creek that I have labeled right there. And according to Boat 2's report, it does state that Horry County Fire and Rescue was requested to assist the South Carolina DNR in the search and recovery for the lost hunter in the water from January the 26th of 2023. And of course, they have a code number that they have logged, which is CAD 2023-5087. This was day 3 of operations for Boat 2. And Boat 2 searched the intercoastal waterway at the Bonaparte Creek in Brunswick County. Reported victims' clothing was found in that area, and Brunswick County Sheriff's Office and North Myrtle Beach Rescue Squad searched the area as well. Talk to me, Shay. Do you know anything about this information?
I just don't understand why they were, why were they on the North Carolina side? I think I need to do a FOIA for North Carolina to find that out. We never really thought about that until we got the Boat 2's information to actually wonder if they found clothes, and what, they don't have any jurisdiction to go over that line. So
that's what I was thinking, is that if there's any searches in North Carolina, that North Carolina would be conducting those searches. So that's why I wanted to clarify, because I felt like when I was reading this report, Boat 2 would have been a report that Brad with North Carolina DNR or someone would have submitted. However, it states that Horry County Fire and Rescue was actually the people that were aboard this particular vessel. And all of Bonaparte Creek is in Brunswick County. There is not any part of Bonaparte Creek that is in Horry County.
No.
So,
and I speak with Jake frequently. He is the head over the North Carolina DNR, and he would have told me if they found any of Tyler's clothing.
Right. I'm just trying to.
So it just doesn't make sense. He has my phone number. I still share my location with him.
That's good. I remember you telling me that you were still sharing your location. So,
and I do that because if me and my brother are out searching, which we frequently do, that I can actually say, hey, because he was the one who came out when we found the waders. And it was so difficult we didn't know where we were at. I mean, I didn't. I mean, we had been all over the ocean from Myrtle Beach to North Carolina that day. I had no clue where we were. And like you said in the beginning, it was freezing cold that day. Not so that day. That was 31st of January is when we found the waders, and it was still even more cold that day.
Right. So the third day was the day that supposedly Tyler's clothing was actually found. And I believe it was just a couple of days later that you actually found the waders out in front of Holden Beach. Those two places are not anywhere close to each other.
No.
I mean, not remotely. And I'm just thinking to myself, why wasn't the family informed that there was clothing of Tyler's found in Bonaparte Creek? Because I know there was one piece of clothing found. Talk to us about that piece of clothing and tell us what that was.
It was a camouflage shirt that was really small. And it wasn't Tyler's. He didn't, first of all, he didn't leave his home that day wearing a camouflage shirt. He had on a white t-shirt. And it was way too small to even be his. And when we found the waders, it was me, my Aunt Ann, my cousin Marie, and my cousin Shane. And I think we were about 2.5 miles off the shore of North Carolina, somewhere between Charlotte and Ocean Isle.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just thinking to myself, when I read this report, I kept rereading it, thinking, how does Tyler's clothes end up here? But the family's not told about it. But then they find the waders. Golly, that's got to be more than 15 miles north in the ocean.
So what I can't understand when I lay down at night, I don't know, but maybe somebody can answer this for me. If the Coast Guard searched for 48 hours straight, we know that those waders, they didn't sink, they float. They're neoprene, they float on top of the water. Like if you're letting loose of them, they're going to float. Why didn't somebody else find them? I mean, is it because they were hard to see? I mean, why did it take the family to find them? We had so many people helping us. It was just a very weird thing that they were just happened to be out there at that moment in time. We had a boat that kept following us, and we kept bumping into them here and there. I don't know. I mean, I probably should be quiet right now, but I just don't feel like those waders were just floating out there since the day he went missing.
Let me go over here to the chat. I just want to make sure we haven't missed anything. Just Tiff, I just want to say hello, darling. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Jennifer Merrill. It's good to see you. I hope that you're doing well. I'm glad that you're here. You've not missed much. We just got started. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Then we got Spirit Journey here. Thank you so much for your prayers. And B says, so the shirt was not his. I'm sorry. I'm confused. No, the shirt was not his. It was not his size, and he did not leave home with a camo shirt. That's the only clothing that was reported to the family that was found and questioned if it was Tyler, and the family informed law enforcement that it was not Tyler's clothing. So that's what we're trying to break down is, was there something else that was found? Because why would they be saying that the victim's clothing was found, but you guys haven't been aware of that? They should have retracted that statement if it was indeed verified that it did not belong to Tyler.
Right. And it probably was whoever found it, and then they never just followed through with the report. I'm guessing. I don't know. I mean, trying to speak with these people and get somewhere with them in this county, you can't do anything with none of them.
Charlotte says maybe they were put out there.
Huh?
Charlotte says maybe they were put out there. Do you have any comment? Okay.
She might be right.
Let's see.
We don't know.
Rhonda's saying, I'm wondering about the white T-shirt that Lakeland posted being found and then it was instantly removed. Do you know anything about that? Good catch. I didn't know about that.
Right. Good catch, Rhonda. Just send me that information.
Yeah, please let us know, because I didn't see anything about a white T-shirt. So good looking out, Rhonda. And Rhonda says, sorry this is happening to y'all. We appreciate you, Rhonda. You've been wonderful and so supportive in Tyler's Facebook group. If you guys are interested in this case and you want to follow in the group Fighting to Bring Tyler Doyle Home, my mods have the link to that Facebook group. Please go over and make sure you answer all the questions to be able to get in. Maddie says she thinks maybe Christian put it out there. Well, I don't know, Maddie. I mean, we don't really have a lot of the answers because
he won't even talk to our family.
That's right.
I mean, my husband, he called his father because he got it from another person that knew Christian's dad the very next morning, said, we don't want to go out there blindsided. We need to speak to him. He would not let my husband speak. He said, I'm going to go look for my nephew. He said, well, he doesn't want to talk to anybody. Now, if you're his friend and you want to, I mean, I can't imagine anybody I care about as a friend, even if I just met them, I would never hide my face from the family. I would speak to them. If it was my son and they called me and said, I want to speak to your son, I would make my son get on the phone and talk, but he didn't do that.
Right.
He said he doesn't want to talk about it. And I'm not letting him talk to anybody. So all Chad wanted to say to him was, we don't want to go out there blindsided. We just want to know, where should we look? And he was shot down, wouldn't let him speak to him. And he's never once sent a condolence to our family, to me or my brother or my parents. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else in my family right now, but yeah, we haven't heard anything from him, and that's not normal. That's weird.
You know what else I thought was weird? And I'm just going to say it. I thought it was weird that Christian was at the race. And he did not come and speak to the family, although he was just sitting in the bleachers, just actually this way, up to the left of where my husband was sitting with your parents.
I mean, what was he there for? Tyler wasn't there. So, I mean, what's the point? You know, it would be very different if he had come to us and said he was sorry about what happened or whatever. But when you don't want to speak to the family and talk to us and go out and look for somebody that you say is your friend, and you got his grandmother going online saying that they were like brothers, excuse me, they were not. That is a lie.
Right.
He didn't even know him that long. And if he was like a brother to Tyler, then where was he at? He never come and help us search at all.
Jacqueline asked, do you feel someone put the waiters in later? That's a good question. We don't really know.
We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know.
Hey, Jada, darling. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad to see you. Somebody says, I think it was the friend that did something because, well, and we're all entitled to our opinions because honestly, we don't have the answers. And Tyler has not been found. And let's not forget, guys, I mean, it's so important because the things that has happened to this family regarding the DNR. I have been out there with the family at the boat landing. The boat landing is just right here. And Ronnie Floyd actually said to my face, this was like what, week 3 or 4, Shay, that Tyler is dead and he's in heaven.
He said that to me week 2 and to you week 3.
Yes. And he told Shay that she needed to get over it. And I'm just here to tell you that that is disgusting. And I am infuriated that any law enforcement officer would speak to a family that has a missing loved one in the water that way. There is no evidence. They have not found his body, and anything is possible. And I thought it was cruel, and it was not the appropriate, respectful way to handle himself. And he needs to be recused of his position. And that's my personal thoughts. And I just needed to say that because it really irritates me that some people think they have all the authority and they can just treat citizens, tax-paying citizens that have real tragedies in such a disrespectful. Right. It burns me up, Shay. And you know it upset my husband too.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, listen, my family, we grew up in church. Don't tell me when I call you and I'm on the jetties with my brother, we took bicycles because we ran my jet skis into oyster beds and we blew them up. And the last resort we had was to drive to Sunset Beach and take electric bikes to the jetties. And every day we would leave there. We didn't want to leave because we wanted to find something, anything. We bought an underwater drone. He had a friend who gave him a drone that he could fly over the jetties. And when we got ready to leave, we would sit on the beach and cry together because we didn't want to leave. But for me to call him and beg him, please help our family. Can you please do something? And this is his response. You just need to go to church. Well, we grew up in church. He said, Tyler is not with us anymore. One day, one of his bones is going to wash ashore. We know Tyler drowned and he's dead, is what he told me. Who says that to a family? Just like you said, they have too much power and we have no power whatsoever. Tyler doesn't have a voice. He has nobody to stand up for him except for the people who love him, truly love him.
That's right. That's right. And we are standing right here with you.
Thank you.
We're going to do whatever it takes. You have so many people that are here supporting you right now. Because I can't imagine being in your position. Even knowing everything that I know, like to actually go through having a loved one so close to me missing like that. It's heartbreaking, guys, to watch this family. And Brian's here in the chat. You guys show him some love. Give him some hearts and prayer hands. Please, Brian, you know that we love you, brother. And we're going to keep seeking the truth. We're going to keep seeking the truth. We're going to do everything in our power.
Every day, bless his heart, he's suffering.
I know.
Tyler was his very best friend. There wasn't a day that went by that he didn't rush home from work to go be with his daddy out in the shop and work on his race car. And now my brother doesn't have that anymore. So it's been so hard for him.
McBro, the Coast Guard did search for 48 hours and they called it off. Brian even had, which it took an army. It took Brian making all kinds of phone calls, but he got the Civil Air Patrol to come out. And I think DNR only let them search for, what was it, just one day?
Yeah, one day.
That was it. People don't see everything that this family is doing, but you have no idea. Making the calls, sending the emails, talking to whoever it takes, law enforcement, attorneys. We are trying right now. We are in the process of, I just made a brand new poster for Tyler, and we are going to get those printed and laminated. And Shay and Brian and I are going to, let me get over here and I want to share that poster. We are going to put these up on, we're just going to start up in North Carolina, wherever you and Brian want to start. We are going to go every pier, marina, dock, wherever we can get these posters put up, all up and down the North Carolina and South Carolina coastline of Tyler's picture. Yeah. In the instance that Tyler is out there somewhere. We're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to get somebody's attention.
We are. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you and I know that we can't talk about right now. But we will be able to talk about it eventually.
Yes. There's lots of things happening that you guys have no idea about, but we need you guys to stay strong. We need you guys to send up your positive vibrations, your prayers. If you're a praying person, you know, if you're a vibration person, whatever it is, like we really need you guys to just constantly be thinking of this family, because there is something that's happening, and we need for this family to get the answers that they deserve, the respect that they deserve when they're trying. If it's happening to Tyler, guys, how many other families in the state where we both live, how many people are going missing and not getting treated with respect? Just like, what is it, Jake? I called him Brad. I think I'm thinking about
Brad with Wings of Hope. Yeah.
Wings of Hope. Yes. Jake with North Carolina DNR. Talk to me about what Jake told you about how they handle if a person goes missing in the water of North Carolina, and how that differs from how South Carolina DNR handles that. Talk to us about that.
So Brian called me one day, and he was listening to the scanner, and you can hear the scanners in North Carolina for Brunswick County. And I love what Brian's saying. He's saying about what they turned down, that he fought hard to get. I'm sorry to change what I'm talking about, but
no, it's okay.
He fought hard to get the people out here to help, and they were turned down from the Air Force. So that DNR turned them down. But anyway, so Brian called me one day. He was listening to the scanner for Brunswick County, because you can hear everything in Brunswick County that's going on a scanner. You can't hear Horry County Police on our apps that we download here. And he said that there was somebody stranded on Oak Island, and they were waving their hands, and he could hear it on the scanner. He was so upset because he didn't know if it was Tyler or not. So, of course, I called Jake, and get a confirmation that, you know, it's not Tyler. It's a guy who went out to this island, and the tide came back in, and he got stuck there. So Jake told me that he said there's different laws in North Carolina, because we got to talking after that. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, if Tyler would have went missing in North Carolina, he said he would have been treated just like a person who went missing on land. So South Carolina does not have that law. If you go missing in the water, you get nothing unless you have a family who fights and fights and fights. And I got his missing persons report finally on March 27th. He went missing January 26th. And that's ridiculous.
I'm going to pull that up too while you're telling us about that, because that is so critical. This having the NAMUS report, you know, I loved that Jake said it doesn't matter where you go missing in North Carolina, even in the ocean, you get a missing persons report in 48 hours, no matter what. And he sounds like they really have their stuff together in North Carolina. And it's not a good look for Ronnie Floyd in the South Carolina DNR. He says it was protocol that you don't get a missing persons report if you go missing in the water, because, well,
remember when I asked him, I said, he kept telling me,
no, you're in the water. And I was like, but how do you know that?
Yeah. He goes, because he's dead. I said, but you didn't find him, so he's still missing. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I mean, that's just stupid.
I'm going to share my screen real quick right here. Okay, so this is Tyler's missing persons number 101798. And I remember us talking about when I told you, I was like, you need to get him into NAMUS, which is the national database for missing persons in the United States. And of course, they have his demographics, they have all of his information, and the moderators will be dropping the link to this profile if you guys want to go over there and take a look at it for yourself. It has all of his information. It's got facial case ID. It has that the Department of Natural Resources in Richland County is the case contributor to this, and that Catherine Pope is the regional program specialist for this case. The problem that we have with this is that Ronnie Floyd has still not allowed for their family to submit DNA to be put into NAMUS in case something is recovered so they can identify Tyler.
Right.
And the family is still fighting to get that to happen. And no family should ever have to fight to get that to happen.
Nope. I've talked to Catherine Pope 3 times since his report was made. Mm-hmm. And the last time I talked to her, she said that this is nothing uncommon with South Carolina DNR, that she constantly has this problem with them. And she said, unfortunately, I can't make them go do their job that they're not doing. She said, it's sad because I have dealt with this many, many times, but she doesn't have authority to say, hey, you have to do this, because she just don't have that authority. He knows, he's been told, he's been informed.
Yes.
He's been called by me, her, you name it. I mean, I don't know what else we got to do.
I call him and email him, and not once.
I mean, maybe we wait for him to retire, which should be any day now, hopefully, and whoever takes his place, maybe they will step on there and they'll do the right thing.
Speaking of DNR, let's just do a quick little, what about the guy who's Ronnie Floyd's boss? Don't you have a video you want to share with us?
I don't know if I have the video, but I do have a picture of his face. And I would like to know how he made a statement on the news claiming it was a round figure of $100,000 that was spent. Brian,
that's right, Brian.
From day one. Yeah.
Brian, how many? I told you that I had 3 search groups. Remember? We had the South Carolina Search and Rescue from Spartanburg, South Carolina. We had Michelle Galliot with the Richland County Sheriff's Office, who trains cadaver dogs. And we had the lady from Hilton Head, South Carolina, Search and Rescue. And Shay, tell us what Ronnie Floyd and Kevin said to me having these groups. They needed to be invited by the DNR in order to.
And then whenever we put pressure on them, the blunt statement of just tell them all to come. Just tell them all to come out.
That's exactly how he said it. Very sarcastic. Yeah. And just threw his hands up. That was Kevin. That was Kevin who said that.
Yeah. Just and I said, you don't understand. You have to call, like you have to make contact as a law enforcement agent that you are supposed to be. They have to have forms filled out. They just can't come without having an official paperwork done and an invite from South Carolina DNR.
Yes. They need to have the data. They need to have all the information about the missing case so they know how many people to bring, all the materials, etc., how many people they'll need. They'll be able to need to plan how long they're going to need to be here, divers, what kind of equipment they need to source. That's why you have to submit the report so that the search and rescue team, and they know that. They know that, Shay. This is a standard protocol situation. They're just yanking your chain. Oh, yes, that guy, Andrew. How do you say that? Go downs?
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find a video on him. Because it seems like there was a video. Brian says Tyler had a life jacket and a brand new float coat on, so he should have been floating if he was knocked out or whatever. We've talked about that, Shay, and you know what? I've asked, has anybody found this float coat? If they found his clothes, they found the waiters, where's the float coat? Right. I mean, none of this makes any sense, and I feel like there's things that are not adding up for me, and I need these news stations. Like, I need Myrtle Beach Sun News, WBTW, WMBF, Post and Courier Charleston. I need you guys to watch this live stream. I need you guys to help the Doyle family be able to tell their story on your station, in your newspaper, to get the word out that there is some kind of injustice. There is, whether it be corruption, whether it's people that don't want to do their job. No one in this state deserves to be treated like this, much less this family. This family, they are amazing people. They would never hurt anybody. They are good Christian people. And this is a disservice to my community and to this family and to other people that are here. That what if they have a loved one that goes missing? And I'm pleading for anyone who is willing to email or call these news stations to say, hey, we want you to cover the Tyler Doyle story. Please reach out to the family. I know Shay will be willing to talk to them. I think, in fact, someone has reached out to you about speaking to you. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, the Post and Courier has reached out to speak with me tomorrow at 1:30, and I will be doing an interview with them, and I'm excited to do that, to let them know what our family has been through. Their main reason for calling me was to find out what we've been through trying to fight this battle with South Carolina DNR. But I plan on letting them know a lot more than just South Carolina DNR being a problem.
That's great. That's great. And that's what needs to happen. This case needs serious media exposure. We need to get this on News Nation, because the corruption, it's not just in this case, like in the Alex Murdaugh case where his son hit the bridge down there. I mean, that's DNR would have covered that. There's a case in other places. I just don't feel like the protocols are in order where it benefits the citizens of this state. There's time for a change, and we have to stand up to make that change.
Right. And let me speak about the news media. So from the beginning, I just want to apologize if anyone thought that we didn't want the news to be there, because the people who ran the news crews off, they were not the immediate Doyle family.
That
correct. Was not us. They were not related to us in any form. Me, my brother, my mom, my dad, none of us. We wanted it. My best friend, who lives right beside me, was there ready to represent our family, because emotionally we couldn't speak, but we wanted to speak, and she was there ready to do it for us. And there was another part of a family that ran them off, and they weren't even, some of them weren't even any relation to a married part of the family, is all I can say. They ran the news crews off. That's why we didn't get to speak to the news.
That's right. And see, a lot of people thought that it was the Doyle family who just didn't want to speak. And that is not the truth. And the truth matters. Just remember that. The truth is going to come out, guys. The truth is going to come out about all the stuff that is surrounding this case. It may not be all today, but it is going to come out. The truth, you can't hide the truth from Jesus. I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to happen. Tyler's going to get his justice.
I felt so sorry for one of the news girls who came up there because she was being just, the way they treated her, I was watching it and it was embarrassing. And when they were done saying what they were saying to her and telling her off and making her leave, I went to her crying and told her I was sorry because I didn't want to cause a scene. And I said, I apologize for the way they treated you. And I don't remember her name. I don't know who she was, but the way she was treated was wrong. And that was not our family.
Right. B.H. Crawford says there are 11 active cases involving South Carolina DNR, and I do not think contacting them with any tips is actually how to handle this. It only gives them a way to cover their butts. BH, I'm going to have to agree with you on that, and that is why this family, we are having to take action in other places. And as soon as we have answers and more information about what that looks like, and we can share that with you guys, we are going to certainly do that. Charlotte has a question here about his wife. Just very quickly, and I don't want to overstep my boundaries. Yes, that is true, Camshaft. What happens in the darkness always comes to light. There has been a lot of people chit-chatting on Facebook about some things that have taken place. And I know that you cannot comment on everything. So just let me know what you can comment on, and what whatever you can't, then you don't have to. I have a document. Would you like for me to show the document that I have? Can I show that?
Sure, you can show it.
Okay. Let me get down here. Get back up here and take this comment down. Talk to me about this. This says, State of South Carolina, County of Horry. It is a magistrate summons.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot I can say right now about it, but
Okay.
Yeah,
that's coming up soon.
So,
well, like I said, y'all, the truth is going to come out. And when the family is able to speak more on it, they will. But this is public knowledge. So I just want people to see that things are happening. Another thing that I want to quickly address is that some rumors that have been going around on Facebook, just so that we can get a grasp on what is rumor and what is truth. And if you're not able to give us the information at this time, we respect that. I totally understand. I heard the police were called to your parents' home in the last few weeks. Is that true?
Yes. My parents' home that Tyler lived in with Lakeland.
Okay. And is it also true, because there's a lot of buzz about that I've seen, that Lakeland actually moved out of the house that's on your parents' property? And this was whatever happened with the police, was this all involved in the same day of this event?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom and dad did nothing wrong.
Of course. I know they didn't. I know
you
they
have the
didn't.
phone call. You can play it if you want to.
Did you send that to me? Let me look over here.
On your email, yeah.
Okay.
My parents did nothing wrong. My mother was completely blindsided. She thought she was picking up the baby to keep her for the afternoon. But she came home to a whole lot of people taking everything that Tyler has ever owned in his life out of a house that he was living in with Lakeland. And now it's all gone. So, but that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Due to Kid Rock's music video, American Badass, YouTube blocked my live stream. So therefore, Shay's video of Brian racing has been removed from this live stream. I apologize that you guys cannot watch this video. However, I will ask for the link to be posted in Tyler's Facebook group. I did record your mom speaking when they gave the picture, which you can see is right there on the wall beside of Shay. This picture was actually presented to them at the racetrack. And his, Tyler's grandmother, Brian and Shay's mother, Linda, and we love Miss Linda. And Miss Linda, if you're watching, I love you so much. And I love you, Mr. Ricky. She gave a wonderful speech, but because of the reverb of the microphone in the stands, it was very difficult to hear on the video. But she was so emotional. It was such an emotional night, but it was so good to have Reed there. It was so good that we were all there together.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Rhonda, dirt racing, that's the language. And that's how Shay and Brian were raised. And Shay and I talked about that. Like everything we had was covered in red dirt. We had red dirt on our faces. I mean, my car was like this thick because red dirt was just. I brought my Doberman, and she had a wonderful time at the racetrack. But she was covered. She was more red than she was before we got there. We had such an amazing time. Hey, White Boy Lockdown Radio. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. I appreciate you coming by. So BH, you had a question. And I think, I just want to go back and make sure that I do get your question answered. I saw, let me go back. It was when the video we were just playing. And thank you so much, Shay, for making that video. Shay is a great video creator. Y'all, she is amazing. She made that video herself, in case y'all didn't know. I did not make that. That is Shay.
Thank you.
So amazing, sis. I love you so much. So BH says that she wants to ask one question, and she prefers to hear it right from the person instead of waiting to try to validate it through other sources. Did you ask that question already? I'm looking down through the chat here. Because let's see, she says there's such an undeniable bond with the members of this family, the aunt, the father, the brother. Yes, that's very, very true. So if you have a question that you want to ask BH, I know that Brian or Shay will try their best to answer, whatever they can. They just want to be transparent. Did Ronnie Floyd tell you that Tyler was deceased, Shay?
Yeah. He did many times.
He even told me that. He told me that. He told me that in front of Miss Ann. Miss Ann was there, and she's there. And he has told Shay that
And this is how he says it, and I can quote it and sound like him. Well, we know Tyler's dead and he's in heaven. That's what he told me.
Yes, BH, that really happened. It sure did, because I'll never forget, you called me immediately after it happened, and Shay was so livid. She was literally screaming.
Yep.
He is trash. He is trash.
Yeah. You don't get to tell me that he's dead if you can't find him.
You're welcome, BH. And thank you for your question.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question. Camshaft has a question. Can someone tell me who the Josh guy was that was always finding decoys? That's a really good question.
I don't know him. I don't know who he is.
We don't either. And he's not friends with Tyler on Facebook, from what I understand. Is that correct? I mean, he was friends, I think, with Lakeland. Yeah, and I think Christian Holden. But I don't know that they were actually real life friends. And I could never could never pinpoint that. The connection. Spirited Journey says Josh Johnson is friends with Christian Holden. Yeah, that I thought I remembered that. So Jacqueline wants to know, do you see the baby?
I saw the baby a few times, yeah. But I don't, we none of us get to see the baby right now.
And if you guys ever have questions, you know, I mean, collect your questions together, because Shay and I will be back to have, you know, live streams in the future. And if you have questions that you want to ask, the best thing to do is to ask the source, ask the family. You know, we just ask that people be respectful, because we want there to be accurate information, because a lot has happened in the last 5 months. Honestly, 5 months ago, I didn't see it going like this, Shay.
Me either. I had no idea that things would turn out the way they have. And that I don't even want to talk about it because it's going to upset me.
I know.
But next month, I may be able to talk about it 100% open.
Okay.
But right now, to protect Tyler and his things and our family, if he could just be here, if Tyler could be here and see what has taken place, I can tell you right now, me knowing that child since the day he was born, he would be so furious if he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So and we pray every day for a miracle that Ronnie Floyd is wrong. I mean, I pray that he is wrong. I mean, I just pray that God will somehow, some way give us answers. If you can't give us Tyler back, give us answers. You know, we need answers.
Absolutely.
We want answers.
So I think Kim Murphy, are you from the racetrack, Kim? We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you being here. BH1 says also, why when the water cadaver dog had a COB, why did Floyd not dive to look?
I have no idea.
We still haven't figured out a lot of these.
I mean, is he a real diver? I don't know. He can't even do a missing persons report. You think he can dive down in the ocean? I mean, that's just not being funny towards the comment that they wanted an answer to, but like I'm being sarcastic towards him. Like, he can't even write a missing persons report. I highly doubt he can dive down in the ocean and look for a human.
I mean, he kept saying, well, just give it a couple days. His body's going to come to the surface. And then it was, well, we need another week. Well, it's going to be another week. And here we are. It's 5 months and we don't have anything. We have the waders and some clothing that supposedly was found that the family hasn't been told about.
Nope. That's it.
Just these random things that don't lead us anywhere. But yet he has the nerve to tell the family that he's deceased and they just need to get over it and go to church. And it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. Yes. The dogs did get a hit out that area. You're right, Brian. And Brian and I have been back out there. We're planning to go hopefully again soon. And Ryan Champion is a scammer. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I mean, even Wings of Hope called me. Brad called me about a month ago about Ryan Champion. He was in Ohio looking for a little girl who was missing. And Brad called me and he said, remind me about that situation. And I told him. And he said he's claiming to come here now. And apparently the police in Ohio don't take that lightly when they're preying on family members who are suffering. And this was a little girl who had went missing. So I guess he follows people around to look for, I don't know. He never showed up to look for Tyler. with his dog.
No, he never did. He made a lot of promises and wanted money, but that was pretty much the end of that. I'll never forget that situation. That was a mess.
Yeah.
See if we have any more questions. B says, can you talk about the phone calls from Tyler before the boat went down? And we have discussed that, B, on our previous live streams. We've actually, talked about the people who Tyler called or that actually called Tyler. Tyler actually received some calls. Tyler didn't make all the calls. He actually received a couple of calls while he was on the boat in distress.
Yeah, so let's talk about the last phone call he received.
Okay.
And the guy who was very disrespectful to not only me, but to a family friend who reached out to him just to find out what was that last phone call about. I'm not going to go into detail exactly what he told law enforcement, because I'm sure he don't remember, but what he told other people in Messenger on Facebook is totally different. And then when he said what he said, that phone call was about Tyler screaming and hollering and that Tyler killed himself out there. I know he's being sarcastic, saying that the weather was rough or whatever, but he himself was out there in that water, and he was in something much smaller than a 17-foot John boat.
And I know because those messages were sent to my family member. Where
so
there
who
was
is Davis Pander? Davis Pander, who are you? If you're not a coward, you wouldn't answer my phone call. I called you on Facebook Messenger about 15 times. How about give me a call? Because me and my brother want to talk to you.
There you have it. And, my family member reached out to Davis to just ask, hey, what can you tell me about what happened that day? And my family member was attacked by him. And he ended up apologizing for that. Number one, how you going to save somebody if you out in a kayak? Number two, what are you doing out in the middle of the intercoastal waterway in a kayak in 30-some degree weather to begin with?
Yeah, but he told your family member a whole different story.
Oh, but he did.
The bottom line is there's a whole lot of people lying in this whole
because what he told her and what the report of what he told Ronnie Floyd is not the same story. And that I got questions. It just doesn't make any sense.
So the Doyle family is going to keep quiet because there's a whole lot of young, stupid idiots that are involved in Tyler's case. And we are a little bit smarter.
Yes, Jacqueline, they both had a gun. Tyler's gun was in the boat, which that was never recovered, I don't think. Was it?
We don't even know if Tyler had his gun with him. We do know when we got back to the landing, and Reed can tell you that he took me to Tyler's truck and said he lifted up the seat. There was 3 shotguns in the back seat of Tyler's truck. I asked Ronnie Floyd, did you confirm the gun that's in the picture that I got from Cito actually belongs to Christian Holden? And he told me that it did. Now, how do I know? I mean, I'm just going off of his word,
right?
Which means shit to me. I mean, nothing.
I know.
So there was 3 shotguns in the back seat of his truck underneath the seat when we went back to the landing. After we got the keys from Christian Holden had Tyler's truck keys. That's the way we were into his truck.
That's what I was going to say. Didn't Christian have Tyler's truck keys?
Yes, he did.
I got so many questions, y'all. I mean,
how else will we get in it? I mean, I understand, you're backing a boat up or whatever. Somebody's going to take it off the trailer. You got a buddy there to help you. Maybe that's why he had the keys. I don't know. But like I said, none of us were there. So none of us know what happened.
I tell you what, I'd like to talk to TJ myself, Charlotte.
Yeah, who is TJ?
Did he go out? Do you think that he went out to the water that day before DNR got there? Do you think he went out there to help Christian? I'm just curious, like, because apparently he must have been nearby, because he was on the phone with him too. Christian was, according to his phone records. So, just so many questions. Christine says, I've wondered if she had a life insurance policy. I'm not asking you all to talk about it. I just wonder. Well, those are things that's being looked into. There's lots of questions and things, you know, that it's going to take a lot of time to unpack all of, you know, the things that are happening, because I don't think when this all started, the family knew that it was going to take the turn of events that it has, you know. So
I want to understand also, like, I'm sitting on my couch after work and my mom calls me hysterical. You know, Tyler's boat, somehow he's been out in the jetties, it's sinking, you need to go, your brother's on his way now. And she was doing her last client's hair at her salon in Lourdes. I was like, oh my God, what? So we all just took off. I got there first, my brother comes right after. I don't even know anybody who's ever went through this. So at the beginning, and I go and I look back and relive it, like we didn't know what we were doing, what we were up against. I hope people understand that. Like, I don't know another family who has had a situation to deal with like this. So if there's anything that we may have like not looked for or didn't know what to do, it's because we didn't know what to do.
Right. Well, that's, you know, when I came down there to check on you guys, I know what it's like to almost drown in that inlet. And anytime that someone has an accident in the water, my heart just sinks. And, you know, my husband's like, let's get in the car. Let's go down. I know you want to go down there and make sure that everything's okay. Because I have to know in my mind, because otherwise I'm going to lay in my bed and worry myself to death about it, because that's just the kind of person that I am. I mean, and that's when I saw you and Brian leaving. You know, y'all were following each other out. Yeah. And that's when I got word that the ambulance was at Windjammer, which I knew was a private boat ramp, but I knew also that it was the closest one out where Tyler's location was. You know, coming in from the jetty, that's going to be the closest boat landing, you know, that they could, you know, be able to have the ambulance at. So, BH says he believes that the rifle Holden has on those rocks, he's never known a person to go duck hunting with a rifle, and he's lived in South Carolina their whole life. Well, it is a rifle that Christian had out there. And it is a very strange area to go hunting. I would have to say it's a very dangerous area to be out, even in that type of boat. People go hunting all the time in that area, just not out in the jetty that goes out to the ocean, because anything can happen.
I mean, and wouldn't a rifle like blow a duck all to pieces? I mean, I don't know much about guns, even though my dad had a ton of guns and we grew up around them, but as his little girl, I never got to shoot them or be around them. They were kept away from me.
Be the one to tell us, Brian, if you want to take that link and come up and explain to us about that. If you don't, it's okay. He would be able to, you know, tell us more information about that, because I'm not a duck hunter. I don't really know all the things.
I would think a rifle would blow duck to pieces.
Yeah. Kim says, did forensics ever analyze the letter Tyler wrote to Lakeland that she posted in Facebook? He wrote her a letter?
I wish that there was some kind of forensics, but they didn't even do any forensics on the boat to see if there was blood on it. So no, there was nothing. There is no forensics in this case. There is a DNR agent who will arrest you for catching a fish that's too small. That's about it.
Rhonda thinks that TJ helped Christian Holden and then got his gun and his waders. Interesting. And Brian says he's never heard about a letter. Well, that is interesting. Kim said she took it down, so I don't personally know about a letter, so I can't speak on it. But if
I know about it. I saw it.
Any info? You did see it? Okay.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yep. So she's got a good question.
Brian mentioned the 911 call by Christian Holden. Can I play it? I can. Let me find it. Because I think there's something that Brian had pointed out to me in that call. Let me go on my phone and see if I can grab it real quick. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. About how he says he's drifting out in his boat, but he wasn't in the boat.
Let me find where I've got those 911 calls. Let's see. I think it's in my, I think I've saved it to my Spotify. Let me look over here on my local files. Give me 1 second. Okay. I've got so much stuff on this phone, y'all. It's crazy. I've got for you here, for you there, here for you, there for you, everywhere for you. Something's a for you. So I'm trying to see if I can find it. Y'all have no idea how many people email me. So I'm going back through it. But I do have that. I've just got to find where I've got it. Cito calls. Maybe if I search DNR, it'll bring it up.
Location of the emergency.
You got it?
Okay. Somebody to call her back about one of my buddies being lost.
Yeah, but I think it's starting off at the wrong
one of your buddies
one.
being lost? Yeah, she told me to call her right back to try to get a hold of him.
It's not the very beginning one though.
But I think the one part, Brian, there's one part that you pointed out to me when you were at my house last week that you said that the pastor noticed. Remember that, Brian? Remember, you play it for me.
Here it is.
911, what is that? Got the emergency. Yes, ma'am. I need to get a hold of Coast Guard or something like that. I'm stuck in the ocean, drifting out in the ocean. I cannot get nobody to answer.
Did you hear that?
All right, is anybody in?
I'm stuck in the ocean, drifting out in the ocean. I cannot get anybody to answer. Would you like for me to replay that?
Please replay that again.
911, what is that? Got the emergency. Yes, ma'am. I need to get a hold of Coast Guard or something like that. I'm stuck in the ocean, drifting out in the ocean. I cannot get nobody to answer. All right, is anybody injured on your boat? No, ma'am. I'm standing on the jetty rod. The motor cut off on the boat and it's drifting out in the ocean. He's in it. It's sinking. Is anybody in the boat? Yes, ma'am. Who's in the boat? Tyler, what else? All right, hold on, honey. I'm gonna bring in the Coast Guard. Don't hang up. All right, sir, are you still with me? Don't hang up. It'll stop that in a minute. Yes, this one. Just stay on the line with me here, okay, honey? What's your name? What's your telephone number you're calling me from in case we get disconnected? Are you on the north jetty? Yeah, I'm in the jetty, the Little River. Yeah, just stay on the line with me, sweetie. I'm going to get you some responders there. So the boat is starting to sink? Yes, ma'am. It's filling up with water. I don't even see him no more. He's drifted out past the jetties in the ocean.
Okay, we got two people coming up. Let me stop.
It's filling up with water, but he can't see him anymore.
All right, hang on. We got Brian here, and I got somebody else here. Brian, did you give somebody else a link? Billy Wayne Huggins?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Billy.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good. Thank you for being here. Hey, Brian. So glad to see you, brother.
Good. How you doing?
All right, talk to us.
Listen to the call when he tells the Coast Guard that there's another boat coming, and when the boat gets there, listen to what he says.
Yeah, me and Brian had discussed that.
That's what he was telling me about, Billy.
And it really bothered me. I mean,
You want me to
is
play
that on that same call that Shay was playing?
Yeah. I want everybody to hear what
What'd you say?
I want everybody to hear what Christian says when they're right time as that boat pulls up.
Okay.
He says two words.
We may have to play it a few times, but when you get to that part, you'll know, because it'll be right when the boat is pulling up. Somebody yells something. Right, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. If y'all want to mute.
Yeah, mute your mic so we can hear it clearly.
Did you know if the boat was where it was drifting? Was it going south? If you're looking out towards the jetties, it's kind of going left. I don't know how to explain it. He called me freaking out. You said he was the only one, right? One person? Yes, ma'am. And what kind of boat is it? It's an Excel, tiller handle Excel aluminum John boat. And do you know if anybody was in the water? Did he know if he jumped out, or were you able to see? No, ma'am, I was able to see him drift out, but I do not see him anymore. Did you know if that boat had any markers on it, or a name, or anything else on the side, like numbers? It had orange stickers on it. Had orange stickers on it? Yes, ma'am. Did he have a life jacket on board with him? Yes, ma'am. He put it on. Other than your cell phone, do you have any other type of communications? Does he have any type of communication? He's got a cell phone. Do you know what his number is? I do. What's his number, honey?
if I would have been hollering at somebody.
Where did he put out from? Where he launched from? The swing bridge at Little River. There's a boat coming out now. And were there any other hazardous materials or anything involved on the boat? We're out here hunting, so there is a firearm on the boat. Okay. And nobody is sick or injured? No, ma'am. Not that I know of. I cannot see. So you were able to get out of the boat and got on the jetty? Yes, ma'am. All right, sweetie, I do have it entered in. We've got it on the way to you. Yeah, honey? Yes, ma'am, I hear you. I'm trying to get this boat to come to me now, but I'm not paying attention.
Stop it right there. Was
What
that
is
the
that?
part? Okay.
If I would have been trying to get that boat's attention, I promise you, you could have heard me on the other side of them jetties. Plus, if I had a weapon with me, I'd have been firing it so they would hear me.
Thank you. And you know what he said? There was a firearm on board. He never said he had one with him. And he admitted that he made his way. He was on the jetty rocks. But in the first part of the phone call, what does he say? Yes, I'm on my boat and it's out sinking. But he wasn't on the boat.
Now,
That's right.
on that part, Brian, unmute yourself because I want you to tell everybody what to listen for when Shay rewinds it. I want her to rewind it and play that one part. Because when I first heard it, I thought that it said, I thought it was somebody else saying, "Is it done?" That's what it sounded like. Somebody was yelling, "Is it done?"
Sound like he says, "How long?"
Or how long? Okay, so let's play it again, and I want you guys to listen to that part because I missed it the first time.
Really, can you mute your mic?
But I'll mute him.
Okay.
So you were able to get out of the boat and got on the jetty? Yes, ma'am. All right, sweetie, I do have it entered in. We've got it on the way to you. Yeah, honey?
See?
Yes, ma'am, I hear you. I'm trying to get this boat.
How long?
How long?
What he said. How long?
Yes.
At first, I thought it might have been Tyler yelling, like, how long? Like, how long's it going to be?
Yeah.
And then I was like, who else would he be yelling at? And I was like, was TJ Brown in the waterway?
He was talking to them people on the boat while he was on 911. He just didn't realize it. That's why he hollered like he did.
Yeah, and
whoever was on that boat knows what happened.
Right.
Camshack wants you to play it again.
Play it again. Okay. All right. Everybody mute their volume. Hold on. Oh, it went back to the beginning.
Communications, does he have any type of communication? He's got a cell phone. Do you know what his number is? I do. What's his number, honey? Okay. And where did he put out from? Where did he launch from? The swing bridge at Little River. There's a boat coming out now. Okay. And were there any other hazardous materials or anything involved on the boat? We're out here hunting, so there is a firearm on the boat. Okay. And nobody is sick or injured? No, ma'am. Not that I know of. I cannot see. So you were able to get out of the boat and got on the jetty? Yes, ma'am. All right, so do you have it entered in? We've got it on the way to you.
That was it.
Yeah, honey? Yes, ma'am.
Here it comes again if you want to listen a little closer.
So you were able to get out of the boat and got on the jetty? Yes, ma'am.
Sound like he's beating on something to me.
All right, so do you have it entered in? We've got it on the way to you. Yeah, honey?
He's
How
screaming.
long?
Sounds like he's saying, how long?
Yeah. I thought it was Tyler at first because I didn't think that that was coming from Christian. It sounds like another person other than
Right.
Christian.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
That's not Christian because
110%
it
right.
would have echoed in the phone differently if that was him. I feel like it's a different person saying that.
That's exactly
It could
right.
be. It could be.
Right.
I don't know.
Brian, call me.
Yeah.
Call me personally. I don't talk to you personally. I don't talk. I got something to say. We need to talk. Okay.
All right. I got you. Love y'all.
Love
All
you
right,
too,
thank you,
brother.
Thank
Brian.
everybody
I
for your
appreciate
support.
that.
I want to thank everybody for your support too. Love you, Shay.
Yeah. I love you too, buddy.
All right.
Love
Love
you,
you,
Brian.
best.
We'll talk soon.
All right.
Y'all show Brian some love and support, and we appreciate him and Billy coming up to share that with us because I forgot all about that. When he came to my house last week, he's like, I want you to hear something. And when he played that for me, I'm going to be honest, y'all, I did not hear that the first time.
It took a lot for him to do that. Something struck a nerve in whatever we were talking about. So,
yeah. But that banging, it sounds like he's in the boat, does it not? Because listen, if you're standing on the rocks, what in the world is all that beating? There's nothing out there, y'all. But I mean, it sounds like he's in the boat. Like, I've got so many questions. None of this makes sense to me.
Right. And me and my brother have been out there at the same time. The tide was just like that when Tyler was out there. And I took pictures. We did videos. I'm trying to pull one up right now of what it's like. You can walk right off those rocks to the south side and be on Bird Island. So for him to pretend like he was stranded on those rocks. But what I can't figure out is
just walk right down because it's connected.
Yeah. I mean, how did he get there though? I mean, did Tyler have to like let him off in the ocean part and he had to walk halfway? It just don't make sense to me. And maybe it's because I have never done that before. I'm not experienced with duck hunting in any fashion or form. And I certainly wouldn't. I mean, when me and Brian walked out there, he could walk up the rocks, but he's a lot smaller than I am. And he's very good at walking. And I had on platform Crocs at the time. And I couldn't do it.
Video of Brian and you going out there.
Yes. And I have a picture of him. So I'm standing on the beach part on the south side of the jetties inside where Bird Island is, but still the north side. And Brian is on top of the rocks exactly where he was at. And he could still see the south side jetty. And I could see it from where I was standing on the beach. I mean, it's just, I don't know. And the whole life jacket thing. He said he had his life jacket on. And now we've got some text coming through from some people that he has just had a private text with, but we will have to share a different time because this is happening right now.
Oh, wow.
You don't remember if he actually had on a life jacket or not. So another lie.
And what?
This is coming through right now from people who are texting him right now.
Okay, you tell law enforcement that he has on his life jacket, but now 5 months later, you're rescinding that comment and saying, I don't know if he had it on or not?
Right. And this is a person we don't know that he is talking to, but they know us. So if you kept seeing me look down about 15 minutes ago, it's because I was trying to figure out who this was. And
I figured something was happening, but I know that eventually we'll be able to touch on all of these things. And we appreciate all of you being here while we have these conversations. It helps Shay to really focus on the things that she needs to take care of that she can't talk about, because there is a lot going on that you guys have no idea about. But she has to keep some of that close to the vest, because there's things that's actively still happening. And we appreciate you guys understanding that. I mean, this is still an open investigation that is ongoing, regardless of what DNR says. That's not how the Doyle family sees this situation. And we're going to keep pushing to find the answers, because Tyler deserves justice. This family deserves to have answers. And this is a safe place that the family can come and air out whatever they feel like they need to say. No, you know, this is a straight no chaser situation. Like, I'm not going to tell the family that they can or can't say anything. Like, it's at their discretion. If they don't want to speak on something, I'm not going to force them to do that. It's what they want you guys to know. It's not because they want to keep anything from you, but you guys have to realize that they are working behind the scenes, because there's so much that's happening. But, you know, and we really appreciate you guys being here to support this family and support helping to find Tyler. We don't want anybody getting in arguments in these Facebook groups or trolling each other. We just need to be here to work together to try to help this family find the answers that they deserve. Jacqueline Christian is young also. I think he's in his early 20s. So maybe 21, something like that. And like I said, I have reached out to Christian. I've offered him a place where he can tell his story. And I told him that I would tell people that, you know, I don't want any harassment. I just want to ask him some questions. And I want him to, you know, be forthcoming and just tell us what happened that day. You know, I'm not saying that I think he's suspicious. I just want to hear it from his lips to my ears so that everybody can hear it. Because I think if he would just come out and speak on it, I think people wouldn't feel like there was something that there's a hidden agenda or something like that. Like, I'm not a nefarious person. I'm not going to attack him. You know, we just want to know the truth. And he was there, and to know that he attended the race and did not go out of his way to just say, hey, I'm really sorry about what happened to Tyler. And it was an unfortunate situation. And I'm sorry that I couldn't do anything. Like, he could have just spoken to the family at any given time, but he didn't. And y'all have to understand how that makes the Doyle family feel about this situation. You know, the way that Davis Pandur has acted in this situation, the way that people moving funny. And it gives this family, it makes them have a lot of questions rather than people just being concise and to the point and just saying whatever it is. Because if you don't have anything to hide, why are you hiding? Just say what it is, because the family needs to find peace with this situation. They need answers. It's so important.
That's all we want. We want Tyler home. We want answers. And we can't get anything.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Why would you show up to a race in his honor, but you wouldn't speak to the family?
That's right. Now, Marie made a video also that she shared in the Facebook group, and I thought it was just so beautiful. And I wanted to know if it was okay if I played that.
Yes, she wouldn't mind.
I would really like to share this video with y'all. You tell everyone who Marie is, so they'll know while I get this all set up, and you can just kind of talk to them real quick. Marie is she's your cousin, right?
She's my first cousin, and she's my closest cousin. And I love her so much. I miss her. She's not here right now. She had to go back home where she lives, but she's a wonderful person, and she showed up to help look for Tyler, and she stayed for months here to help our family, and I love her so much.
She sure did. Marie is a sweetheart. And so, Marie, if you're out there watching, we love you. We miss you. We wish you all the best, and we really appreciate you making this video that I'm getting ready to share. So all the credit goes to Miss Marie, and I'm going to share that video with you guys now. So due to the music on Marie's video, it was in breach of copyright infringement with YouTube. So the video had to be cut out of my live stream. I will put New Start Homestead's YouTube channel link and the link to the video for Tyler Doyle in the description box in this video.
A lot of those pictures of when they were little, I took. Very hard. That picture of Tyler holding the cards, the Uno cards, was the last vacation that we went on together. I took this picture of him when he was a little baby. I used to love dressing him up, putting sunglasses on him, and bought him hats and stuff. That was very hard. This is him at my wedding, eating a chicken wing.
I remember you showing me that. Y'all, Tyler is so loved. Tyler is so loved. And y'all, that watching the, I try not to get emotional, y'all. But that watching the prayer vigil and listening to myself speak, I sound hideous, y'all, when I hear myself speak. It's not good. So I apologize in advance that I am not a newscasting voice. That was a very difficult day to get up there and speak in front of all those people. We worked really hard to organize that prayer vigil, and I was so thankful that this community came together and so many wonderful people showed up to support this family. We had many people that donated and brought food and drinks and ice, and people like Paul Thompson, my neighbor, that made the banner for Tyler, and Kevin Reynolds from Sonorama, who he brought drinks and ice, and he's volunteered to help print more posters. I mean, we have such a wonderful community that came together, and I really am so grateful that Pastor Robert Ellis and Pastor Jimmy Floyd came to speak. We had the support of the Horry County police officers that came to help, you know, in case there was any problems, to help with parking and just.
Especially Mr. Jeff, who was there with us every day.
Yes. So, watching that back now.
That's hard to watch. It's a hard thing to have to relive and think about, but it's reality, and we're all going to fight together to push through and make sure that we get justice for Tyler.
That's right. No, Cam, they have not spoke to the people on the second boat. Not that I'm aware of.
No, but I can do that tomorrow. I can reach out and speak to whoever's name's on that report and ask questions.
We have that information. So, and I see Sherry, she's continuing. How long? That is definitely what somebody was saying on that 911 call.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that I missed that, and when Brian played that for me, he said, you know, it stuck out to the pastor. He said it just called me. It's, yeah. And
he went to be with Jimmy and let him hear it.
That, I think that is so important, because who is the person that's saying that, and why are they saying that? I got questions. It's just, I want to thank everyone that has been here this entire time to support this family, that has been here to pray and give us your feedback. You know, if you want to reach out to DNR, if you want to email, you live in South Carolina, I mean, these are the people that our tax dollars pay. And Tyler's case is probably not the only case that's like this. So, you know, it takes a village of people that are willing to stand in the gap, to speak up about things that are happening, whether it's corruption in law enforcement. You know, if you have information and you don't think that it's something that's liable that DNR is going to take seriously, email me. If you think you have something that Shay and Brian need to see, email me at duchess4themissing@gmail.com and send me whatever you have, and I'll share it with the family. Shay, everything that I get, I mean, you know, I just forward it right on to you. And then we talk about it and we determine if it's something that we, you know, like for instance, this TikTok video. There was a TikTok video that got put out. When did this TikTok video happen? I've got it and we can play it. Shay sent it to me.
So my brother, he has completely removed himself from social media until recently. And so last night he called me. He was so upset. You could hear it in his voice. He said, I'm shaking all over. He said, they said that they found Tyler in Brunswick County. And so I stopped what I was doing and I called non-emergency 911 for Brunswick County. And I told them what was going on. And they told me to just sit by the phone because the sheriff from Brunswick County was going to call me back. And I explained it, you know, what was going on, who I was, and what my brother had saw. And of course, it was all just lies, just people trying to get views. And here my brother is, he can't sleep at night. None of us can we hardly ever sleep. When you do go to sleep, you think about terrible things going through your mind. And people on TikTok just think this is a joke, you know. So I recorded both phone calls when I did the non-emergency 911 and when I got a call back from the sheriff of Brunswick County to confirm that that was just nothing but a person sharing something that was not true at all.
Yeah, so I think that Maddie was the one who was saying something about the TikTok video. Because we have people that come in and post crazy stuff all the time. I get emails a lot saying, I heard Tyler was found. I heard this was found. I heard this happened, you know, and it's just not true. I promise you guys, if Tyler was found, you would hear about it first in the Facebook group. Like, I know the family would want people to immediately know there is information, something has happened, and the family would keep y'all posted. I mean, you know, they want nothing more for Tyler to be found. If they had any information like that, I mean, obviously the public would know about it. The news would know about it. It would be.
We would know first, for sure.
I think it's really great, though, that the Post and Courier reached out to you to say, hey, we heard that you're having some issues with DNR. And, you know, we'd like to interview you. We want to know more about what you're facing. So that tells me somebody is watching our live streams. Somebody knows what is going on. Somebody's talking, somebody's emailing, somebody is sending this information, and finally the news stories are picking it up. Like, I tagged them again tonight in this live stream. I encourage anyone that's watching, if you're watching it with us tonight live, or whether you're catching this on the replay morning, noon, or night, share this out on your social media. Share it out on Twitter, share it out on Facebook, Instagram, and tag these people in it. Tag Governor McMaster's in it. I mean, tag whoever you think needs to see it, like tag WMBF News, tag WBTW, tag the Myrtle Beach Sun News, tag the Post and Courier. I encourage you guys to do that because social media is a very powerful tool if it's used the right way. You know, we don't want to be sending them stuff that, you know, that isn't worthy of anything, because lies and deceit will get you nowhere. But there is something that's happening in this case. And Shay and Brian, Miss Linda, Mr. Ricky, Reed, they really encourage you. If you feel like you know something, or you want to share these videos, you want to talk about Tyler on your social media, to get more people, to encourage them to come over and listen to these live streams. Because if you want to know what the real accurate information is, this is where you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it here from the family. If you're not sure about something, email me. Email me and let me know. You know, and Shay just appreciates everyone for your love and support.
I mean, I read these comments and it just is so endearing. To all the people who are over here on this side, like what I'm looking at on this right-hand side, I see all the comments coming through, and it is the most endearing feeling in the world to know that people that I don't even know are supportive and saying that, you know, they got my back and that they're here for me and my family. It means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. There are so many people supporting you. And listen, lurkers, if you're out there watching and you've enjoyed this information, you found this information informative, you know, smash the like button, guys, because the more that you like this video and share this video out, it puts Tyler Doyle's name in the algorithm. And I'm the only person still talking about Tyler Doyle, you know, and I'm hoping that other people will continue to get his name trending in social media so that more people will see this factual information and the things that Tyler Doyle's family wants the public to know. You know, if the news station would interview Shay, you know, it would probably be on the news station. But right now, she just has me with my little YouTube channel, because this is what I do. I cover missing cases locally and just try to help and be encouraging as I can to get this information out. So it really helps me and it helps the family if you can just continue to share this out. And Rhonda, it makes me angry that people are sharing out misinformation and stuff like that too. Hang on one second. I think. Okay, Shay dropped because her laptop died. So I just want to tell you guys that was the reason why she's not on the stream anymore, because her laptop went dead. She's been chatting with us too long. So, yes, Camshaft, the family does have an attorney. And, you know, that's why they are, all these things are in the works. We are talking with people. We're getting all the information that we can. It's taken time. It's taken time to put all of these pieces together. And, you know, it's going to happen. Oh, she's back. Hang on.
My iPad now, not my laptop.
She calls me. She's like, my laptop died. So
it's right here.
She's a busy woman. She's always on that laptop. So, you know, y'all need a private investigator. We've talked about this. We've talked about all of these things. Cam Chef wants to know if y'all have a lawyer. And I just told him, yes, all of these things, the family is looking into all of these different options, because they need answers, and we need to know all the next steps. We have a lot of different things that we're looking into, because we need to know all the sources of where we need to go, who we need to contact, who we need to reach out to, because we're going to find the answers. We're going to find out exactly what we need to do, and we'll just keep going from person to person until we get the answer that we need.
Right.
We've got to stand up for the truth, because if not Tyler Doyle, it's going to be somebody else. Yep. And this is our home. I just can't allow this to, just knowing that this is a situation. If I had a family member to go missing, I would be so livid, because this whole case has like just scarred me from, like, I don't want to mistrust my law enforcement agencies. And there is a lot of good police officers in this county. Yeah. But there's a lot of things that I've had to just kind of side eye since the beginning of this case. And I'm like, this is not right.
Right. It's just like our attorney told us, after he's reviewed a lot of stuff, he looks up and he says, you know what? They just don't know what they're doing. So that's it. And if they don't know what they're doing, then we have to fight to change the laws in this state.
That's right.
To make it where somebody else is able to take over that part when they don't know what they're doing.
We really appreciate all of you being here. Thank you so much. And thank you to the moderators that have been here. Everyone here has been so respectful and kind, and we appreciate all the feedback that you guys have given tonight. This has been a really wonderful stream. We've got to share some wonderful videos and talk about the race and see Brian race Tyler's car. We've had to talk about some difficult things that we still don't have all the answers to. But, you know, we've been on here for over 2 hours, and I don't want to keep you guys. I know that Shay's probably got things she's got to take care of with her family. Is there anything that you want to say, Shay, before we wrap this up?
Just want to tell you I love you, and I thank you with my whole heart for what you've done for my family. If it wasn't for you, I would never be able to have a voice out there for Tyler. So thank you. I want to thank all the people who are on this stream, who are supporting us, the people on Facebook who are in the group that support us. Please just keep helping us fight so we can figure this out.
I want to give a shout out to all the admins and moderators for fighting to bring Tyler Doyle home Facebook group. You guys are amazing, and the family and I really appreciate all that you've done to keep this group going. Everyone who's over there praying in the group and sharing uplifting thoughts and thinking of this family, we really, really appreciate you. And if you want to continue to follow this case and you're not in the Facebook group, I encourage you to please go over there and make sure you fill out all the questions to be a part of that group. We have dropped Tyler's Beacon Law, which I do want to share that before we get off the stream. You guys remember Tyler's Beacon Law, which is a petition that I started not too long ago, and I need to go over there and actually check to see on the change.org to see how this petition is actually coming along. I have not looked at it in the last few days, so I'm going to go over here and take a look at it now. It looks like so far we have 4,513 supporters. We have had 55,000 people to view this petition, and only 1,794 people have shared this petition out. But we do have 4,500 signatures. So I do want to encourage people to please go over and sign this petition. It's critical in order to get the laws changed for people who are out on the waterway. I don't know if you guys are aware. I know Shay is, but locally we've had a couple more accidents on the waterway where people actually passed away. In fact, I think I did send that to you. That one guy that was driving the John boat down at Burkell Road, you know, that 23-year-old man got thrown from the John boat when it crashed into the dock, and he died. And they did end up prosecuting the driver of that boat. He was driving on the water.
And bless his family. Like, I can't imagine, you know, what they're feeling.
That just happened.
That just happened. That was 2 weekends ago.
Mm-hmm.
And found his body the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's another family that's been airlifted just this week, right here on the Intercoastal Waterway.
Yes. That was the only time, Shay, and I was going to tell you this because I haven't got to actually tell you, so I'm going to tell you now. The day that happened, that they had to airlift them, that was the first time I have seen DNR truck out here. Because, you know, I tell you, I check all day long. From the time I get up at 6 in the morning, I'm always looking out my window. I'm always outside my yard. I can see the boat landing and the waterway from my house. So, I mean, and it stays packed. But the DNR hasn't been out here. But they were out here that day. One person with their boat came and put it in the water. He was probably gone an hour, came back, took the boat out, and left.
Right.
I don't ever see them. But supposedly they're still looking for Tyler. But we all know that's not true because they clearly told the family that Tyler was dead.
Exactly. They're out.
They're posting on Twitter that they're still actively searching. Why lie to the public?
And like I told you last time on the last video we did, me and my brother are on the jet ski 2.5 months later, and we think they're stopping us just to say, hey, because they recognize us. Obviously, they should have. They stop us to ask us, did we pass a boat leaking gas? They had no clue who we were. So they're out doing their daily routines. And of course, they can say we're looking for Tyler. They're not looking for him. They're just out doing their patrols like they should every day. They're not looking for him.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
It is. And remember when I called you and I was like, why is DNR still posting that they're searching for Tyler? And this was right after they had told you that Tyler was in heaven with the baby that Tyler's wife miscarried. I think that was how that went.
Exactly how it was said. Yep.
And I was like, you want to tell Shay that Tyler is in heaven with the 8-week-old fetus and that they're together now. And that's the picture that you want us to have in your mind. Like, do you even go to church? Like,
Right.
What kind of law enforcement agent is going to say that to a family? That is disgusting. And she was so angry.
Do you remember what I said back to that person?
I do.
And I said, do you really expect me to believe that? And he said, well, if you were a stupid person, you probably would, right? And I was
Y'all,
like,
this really happened. He really said that.
He did. And I said, do you expect me to believe that my nephew is in heaven rocking a baby that couldn't survive outside the womb? He actually said that to me in front of family members. They were underneath the tent with us. They heard it too, and I just couldn't take it. I was like, you actually think that I'm going to believe that? I mean, he said, yeah, if you were a stupid person. I said, oh, yeah, if you were.
It makes me clench my hands thinking about that because I remember that day you called me. You were saying some choice words that day. And I just remember my husband looking me in the face and saying, you have got to be kidding me. And I said, he could not stand to hear you that tore up. It tore my husband up so bad. He was like, I'm fixing to drive down there and have words with him. I was like, no, let's not do that. But I mean, because that is disgusting.
Yeah,
And I can't believe someone thinks that that's okay to just explain things like that to people because they think that they're naive and stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that normal? No.
No, it's not. And just think about the people they tell that to, and they maybe believe it. I don't know, but he talked that way to the wrong person.
That part, camshaft.
Yeah.
That's exactly what was going to happen.
And I'm normally a person who tolerates a lot, camshaft. Like, it takes a whole lot for me to make a ruckus or ask a question. I'll sit back and just be quiet. But that day I was like, do you seriously think that I believe that? I mean, that's who we're dealing with.
And it's not right.
No,
that is not how. Listen, I've seen a lot of stuff from these Facebook people saying crazy, heinous things. I mean, I'm sure y'all remember I had to do a live stream to address some people saying some crazy lying stuff about me. And I do want to address one quick thing, if y'all will give me just 1 minute before we get off here. I got a message. That was sent to me, and I want to show it. Let me see if I can find it here. This is the message that I got. And somebody said, I was told to send you this message. Let me get my glasses on. The message is from AJ Always Something. And I'm sure there's some people in the chat who probably know who that is. And she says, okay, this is something I need to say. It is no secret that me and Duchess have not seen eye to eye. I felt like I was being called out over me saying the names of the callers to 911. There was never any issue about that I had with AJ with that. It was just that, remember what happened, Shay? When I had asked you about that fourth call and you just didn't remember.
Yeah, I didn't.
That you had called 911 because you had so much going on at that point.
Yeah, I mean, after that 911 call, people have to realize I didn't sleep for 48 hours. I never went back to my house and went to bed or took a shower or brushed my teeth.
So when we got the FOIA and I realized that it was Shay, I called her and I was like, you realize this fourth call is actually you. And she was like, I totally forgot that I called 911. And I didn't want to play the call unless Shay was on the live stream with me, because I didn't want people to think I was being disrespectful. But Shay said, no, I want you to play it. And I'll say that on the live stream. And we played it. And it was a really difficult call to listen to. But that's what AJ is referencing in this particular sentence here. And she goes on to say, as time has passed and I have watched more and more of her interviews and interaction with the Doyle family, I feel I was wrong. I'm a grown woman. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I have watched and listened to her interviews. I can see the interaction she has with the family, and I think it is genuine. Yeah. I allowed little minions to get in my ear, and I know better. I messed up, and I got off track. I was wrong. And since I said what I said publicly, I think it's only fair and right to apologize publicly. There is no excuse. I was wrong. I lost self-control. That is no one's fault but mine. So I apologize. And if someone could pass this along, I would appreciate it. And I just want to say, AJ, I accept your apology, because I don't have issues with anybody. Like, I'm just too old for that. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. Like, I don't have time to deal with internet craziness, you know. Like, if you come for me, like, I'll just keep doing whatever I'm doing, because I'm not about that life. Like, I'm here for the truth. I'm here for the answers. I'm here to support the family. I'm here to do what's right. And I have to stay on task on my mission. But I have a lot of respect for people who will say that, because not a lot of people will ever admit when they're wrong about something. So, AJ, I accept your apology. And I just want us to all work together to get the answers for this family that Tyler's family deserve, and that because Tyler deserves justice and he deserves to have answers, because he doesn't have a voice. Shay and Brian are his voice.
Right.
And it takes a village of us working together. We don't need to be fighting each other because we all have our own opinions about what we think may have happened. We can agree to disagree, but we can all be able to get along with each other.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And I just want, respect is earned. You give it to get it. And so I just wanted her to know that we're good. Anything you want to say on that, Shay?
I'm happy that that she connected with you and she made that message and she connected with me. And I think that as a team, we can work well together, because I do believe that she has a heart for what we're going through. And she's like me when I said in the beginning, like, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. And there's probably been things I've said that I would go back on and say, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And I think that that's very good of her to tell you that she's sorry.
I agree. And
because you have been here from day one with the family. I mean, that day, not that night, like we didn't meet that night, but we did meet you right after that.
Yeah.
And you've been with me ever since. Mm-hmm. And she knows that now. And a lot of people don't know what they can't see. That's right. And
that's right. If you're not here, you don't know. I mean, I came down there the very next day and I was like, please let me buy you breakfast. I watched y'all sit in this car all night long. I mean, I watched y'all out there in the car all night with the light on in the truck, and I thought, they are out there freezing in this truck, just sitting out there all night long. Y'all was out there for a couple of nights, and that's why I went out there. I was like, let me buy you coffee. Let me get you some breakfast. I mean, y'all had to be freezing, but I know you wanted to not leave in case something happened.
We just knew that the first part was so critical. Like, we just thought they're going to bring him back to us any moment now. He's going to be in shock, freezing, but he's coming back. So we didn't want to leave. I didn't brush my teeth for 2 days. I'm like Tyler. I get sweaty, and he would shower 3 times a day. That's me. Like, if I get sweaty, I jump in the shower. I didn't shower for 2 days. I was so miserable. I had stuff caked on my teeth, but I was not going to leave there because I wanted to make sure that I did not leave my mother, for one, and that I was going to be there whenever he came back.
Yeah. I remember, and it was so cold.
It was so cold.
And there's a lot of tourists here right now, and Brian and I did go out this past weekend. We had the drone. We just went and walked out on the point. There was so many people out on the waterway, in their John boats, pulled right up to the point, where we walked out, where the, because at low tide, you can actually walk across from the point at Cherry Grove onto Wadey's Island. You can cross over at low tide, but you better get back in time, because when that tide comes in, it'll be up to your neck.
Yes.
That water can get rough in there. And Brian was showing me, hey, we walked over there. We walked here. This is where the dogs hit. It's just incredible to me that there's not more information available at this point. Like, that there's nothing. I just keep waiting for somebody to say that they found something, and knowing that Ronnie Floyd won't collect DNA to put on file with NAMUS, that's mind-blowing to me.
Well, that was mind-blowing to the people who are going to come interview me tomorrow. So hopefully we can let a lot of more people know about what's going on and what he's not doing. And I'm tired of the excuses. You know what? I've got a kidney stone. I got a family crisis. I don't care. does the DNR have somebody else to fill in when you're not there?
They do.
Exactly. So stop with that bullshit. He is full of shit, and somebody has to do something. The whole DNR needs to just be wiped out and reworked.
I hear it right here. This is the facts, y'all. I mean, if you want to know what's really going on, this is the place to come to know exactly what's happening. And I have been out there when these conversations have taken place, and I've had to literally turn around and walk away and bite my tongue at some of the things that DNR has actually said to this family. Just makes me so angry. And that's why we have to keep talking about Tyler's case, because it's so important that no one forget what has happened. They're hoping we're just going to stop talking about it and we're just going to let this go. But they've got another thing coming, because that is not what's going to happen.
Nope. This is a human being that is loved beyond anybody could. You saw how loved he is.
Oh, yes.
We will never stop. I will never stop. My family will never stop. The Doyle family, me, my mom, my dad, my brother, we will never stop. Reed,
right.
Milton, and Myrna, we're never going to stop. Never.
You heard it here first. We're going to keep pressing on. It doesn't matter if it takes, like that cold case file episode that I sent you, that someone shared with me that we watched about the missing duck hunter.
Oh.
You know, that was.
I want to thank that person for sharing that video or that episode of that show, and I encourage everyone to go watch it.
Yes. Michelle, what is the name of that? Maybe somebody can grab the link. Michelle, do you think you can go look up that cold case file? It's on Netflix. I may have to look it up myself. Hang on.
I got it right here. Hold on, I'll tell you.
And we can drop it in the chat. You guys can watch that. It's a
the
cold case file.
Voice on the Lake.
Yes.
Cold case files on Netflix.
Let me tell you, when I saw that, I got the chills, y'all. I mean, because I was like, there was so many similarities in the way that this case played out.
Yeah.
I mean, Shay called me immediately as soon as she finished it, and she was like, "Oh my gosh," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, is right."
Yeah. Everybody.
I encourage you to watch it, because sometimes things aren't always what they seem. And that's why this family wants to make sure that this case is being handled by someone who knows exactly what they're doing, that there has been no corners that have been cut, that everyone has been interviewed. Everything has been documented appropriately. And that nothing has been overlooked, nothing has been missed, that everyone that needs to be interviewed has been spoken to, and that no stone is left unturned.
Yep.
Because Tyler's life matters, and we are going to fight tooth and nail to get the answers that Tyler and his family deserve.
Exactly.
So don't forget to like this live stream. Don't forget to share this live stream out on your social media. I'm here to fight with you, sis. We're not going to give up.
Thank you all. Thank you for taking your time.
Of course.
And everybody who watches, thank you. And supports us, thank you very much. I'll be back.
I know you will. So go be with your family, and you and I will catch up this week. I love you so much, sis. And I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about this case. And I love you and Brian so very much. And tell your mom and dad that I love them too. Okay. And I hope to get out and see them soon at Tyler's Produce. So I'll see you soon.
All right. Good night, sis.
Good night.
Love you.
Love you. Okay, y'all.